everything is falling into place for the Boston Celtics as the Boston Celtics go on the road in DC and beat the Washington Wizards, who are definitely a very interesting team this season, but they win in large fashion with no Jaylen Brown tonight as he was out with an illness. But a lot of other guys were allowed to play a lot more minutes, and we saw some really good things from a lot of players. So we're here to talk about it. Welcome back to another video here on Celtics Digest. I'm your host, Patrick Billings. Before I get into this post-game breakdown, if you guys love all the content that we're doing here on Celtics Digest, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of things coming as there's a lot more news, updates, even more post games, and some trade rumors. If you guys haven't seen a couple of our last videos, there's been a lot of trade rumors looming with the Boston Celtics moving away from Anthony Simons as he has that large contract, and the Celtics are trying to get under that first apron and out of that luxury tax to make things a little bit easier for Brad Stevens in the offseason. So things with the picks won't get pushed back. We don't want to get into any of that, but the Celtics could definitely use some rebounding, and there's been some talks in that in our video, so go and check that out. But the Boston Celtics might need some help down low as they are ranking in the bottom of the league in defensive rebounding, so they could definitely use some help. So you guys want to come over here on Celtics Digest and see any of those updates. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And like I said, no Jaylen Brown tonight. It is against one of the worst teams I've seen in a very long time in the Washington Wizards, as they let up probably the second most points, I believe it is, in NBA history right now against opposing teams. So the Celtics were easily able to pour it on as they were looking really good, though. We can't take anything away from that. We know that they're playing the Wizards, but no Jaylen Brown, so some other guys were able to step up, and we really get to see who's able to step up when there are guys missing, and plenty of guys stepped up tonight, and we're going to get right into that. So let's start with the final score, as it was a whopping 146-101 win on the road here, as the Boston Celtics are starting to get into a little groove here, and it's followed by a lot of these players like Jordan Walsh, Josh Minott shooting the ball well, Derrick White kind of making a little bit of a comeback here with his shot being a little bit off more than usual this season, but hopefully this one helps them get back into a groove. As we look here at the Washington Wizards box score real quick, as some of these names maybe you may not even recognize, but it's a lot of young guys, a lot of young pieces. No Alex Sarr tonight for them either, so that's definitely rough for them down low, but they were led by CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton, the unks of the team, trying to get things done and keep it close, but they weren't able to do that. But if we look at the Celtics side of things, this box score is absolutely loaded, as we had some massive games, especially from Derrick White with 30 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Joe Mazzulla just had to pull him before he had the chance to get a triple-double, but that's fine, as they got a back-to-back going back home against the Los Angeles Lakers, who may not have Luka Doncic. So who knows? This could be a really good game, but it's a good tune-up for the Celtics to kind of get the offense into a groove, figure out what they need to work on. Rebounding defensively, definitely one of those things, but the Lakers are no joke. I think that this is going to be a great test for the Boston Celtics to see what they got and see what these guys can do. So this will be a great opportunity for the Celtics to get a win at home. But if we look down a little bit lower, of course, we got Peyton Pritchard getting things done as always with a little 28-6. But Jordan Walsh was the man of the game. This guy put up a career-high 22 points, and his previous was 15, which he had at halftime, as he was the first Celtics player to have 15 at halftime, shooting 100% from the field from Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward was the last Celtic to do that, so Jordan Walsh was able to do that tonight and still finished 8 for 8 from the field, 5 for 6 from the free throw line. We won't get at him for that, but 7 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple of them being offensive rebounds with a block and a couple of steals. I mean, this is the Jordan Walsh I've been waiting for. You know, he played in the Summer League this offseason. He's been with the team a couple of years and really hasn't been able to find his role. And guys like Jaylen Brown talking to Joe Mazzulla, like, dude, you got to put this guy in. He is great defensively, and I don't think it should be as surprising to those that are Celtics fans, especially maybe for people that aren't really watching the Celtics too much. They're probably like, all right, JB, Derrick White, Peyton Pritchard, those are going to be guys doing their thing, and that's really it. But he has been able to step up in a big way. He is practicing for 3 years guarding some of the best players in the league. I don't think we should expect anything less than him being a great defender, because he's truly showing that, and he has turned this team around for the better since he's been in that starting lineup, and we'll get more into that a little bit later, as he did take Josh Minot's starting lineup spot from the beginning of the season, so we can move to him a little bit, and he's been really confident with his jump shot. 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. We saw him last game hit a couple of great threes, wide open threes. So him coming off the bench, being a little spark plug as well. I mean, he's been truly, truly incredible. And another one who doesn't really show on the stat sheet, but when it comes to plus minus for rookies, he is leading, and that's Hugo Gonzalez, who had another incredible showing with 14 points, some garbage time minutes as well, but he was still fighting through the end with 5 rebounds, with a block, 3 offensive rebounds as well. That's another great stat for Hugo, and he is just a fighter. Love with him getting on the floor, just being aggressive, being that guy fighting for those minutes. That is exactly what you want to see. And lastly, I can't talk about the Celtics if I'm not talking about Neemias Queta. I mean, another dude that has stepped up in a big way for this team in this starting lineup. 17 points, 7 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 2 assists, 4 blocks, 2 of the rebounds being offensive, but that rebounding line is definitely a little bit too low for our liking for Neemias Queta, so hopefully he will get into a little bit of a battle against DeAndre Ayton and steps up on the defensive end, because they are going to need him big time. And if he just stops with the cheeky fouls, I think that this team will have a great opportunity to get a good home win against the Lakers. And we'll go into some of these team stats as well. As the Boston Celtics shot 99 from the field, 54 makes. A lot of good things here. The 3-point percentage, definitely a little bit better with 43%. Free throw line, no sweats there. The blocks, everything. Total turnovers, keeping it low for the season, and they're getting 15 points off of turnovers. Another great sign for this Boston Celtics team, who has definitely been great with keeping the ball secured and not really, their problems are really just more of the defensive side. The offensive end has been perfectly fine all season, as they rank 4th in offensive efficiency, but on the defensive end, it's that rebounding and letting up a ton of stupid fouls, to be honest with you. So hopefully against this Lakers team, they start to pull it together. But the stat that I got for you guys, like I said, is Jordan Walsh. And I don't know, again, if it's going to come as a surprise to any of you, but with Jordan Walsh in the starting lineup, the Boston Celtics are a 8-2 record. That is just absolutely incredible for Jordan Walsh, seeing him get things done in this starting lineup, and hopefully that continues as they're really starting to figure some things out. They were trying to find their identity for the beginning of the season. Everything looked lost. But they finally find their guy in Jordan Walsh, who's been stepping up, guarding some of the best players in the league, locking down Jalen Brunson, even Karl Anthony Towns when it was needed last game. And this game, just being scrappy, picking up anybody possible. This is a great sign for the Boston Celtics down the line, that he is playing good basketball, and so is everybody else around him. Guys, that's going to do it for this one, as the Boston Celtics get another win in DC against the Wizards. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about what you saw tonight with Jordan Walsh. I know it's the Washington Wizards, but no Jaylen Brown, so we got to see a lot more of these other guys. So let me know what you think about Jordan Walsh and him on the defensive end and what he's done for this Boston Celtics team. Make sure you drop a like, hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let's go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everybody.